The owl hoots at midnight. The owl hoots at midnight. Never mind, my lady. Clearly you are not the contact I was sent here to meet. Although, you do look familiar. Your modesty becomes you. I have heard great tales of your deeds from Ozan. I've no doubt that, in your case, he had little cause to exaggerate. Ceramic received a vision from Saradomin, telling him to send me here. I traveled to Edgeville Monastery with all haste, but I have yet to discover why. He is the leader of the White Knights. Mighty Saradomin! It is an honor to bear witness to your glory, my lord. Of all the days to neglect to polish my armor.
Indeed, much has changed since the death of Guthix. What do you think of my new look? I've been called many things on many planets. That insult wouldn't even take the top 100.
Almighty Saradomin, ruler of all things whose power no creature is able to resist.
Oh, do get up, Sir Owen. If there's one thing I cannot stand, it is people groveling. I know you well, my servant. You are one of the greatest among my followers. It is why I entrust you with this sacred quest. The Kinshra Zamorak's Black Knights have discovered a dangerous weapon last wielded during the God Wars. They hope to use its terrible power to obliterate my White Knights and reclaim Falador. They know not the uncontrollable force of corruption they will unleash upon the world. Even Zamorak wouldn't condone the loss of life without reason. Destruction must serve a purpose. Guthix chose you to protect this world and defend the people of Gielinor. I beseech you, World Guardian, for their sake, to find the weapon and keep it safe.
I have pledged my life to your service, Saradomin. What must we do?
First, the World Guardian shall require a suitable disguise to infiltrate the Black Knight's fortress. Equip the armor I have provided to the southwest and return to me. Good. You shall impersonate Captain Dulcin, the current overseer of the Black Knight's fortress. Sir Owen shall accompany you.
Disguised as a fellow Black Knight, my lord. I have a set of black armor from a former encounter with the Kinshra. I need only claim it from storage.
No, Sir Owen, I know well of your experience in stealth and infiltration, but great peril lies ahead. You must remain armed and ready for the battle that awaits. You will soon understand the wisdom of my actions. You shall be Captain Dulcin's prisoner. The Kinshra have recently raided White Knight outposts in Asgarnia and taken every opportunity to capture my followers alive.
For what purpose, my lord?
That is for you to discover, my faithful knight.
My strength and intellect are yours to wield, Saradomin. I trust in your wisdom to lead me through the darkness.
Excellent. With your permission, I shall now teleport you both to the Black Knight's fortress. The power that Guthix gave you protects you from godly power. As you recall from our last encounter, I cannot teleport you against your will. Now, are you ready? Proceed to the tallest tower of the fortress and recover the weapon at any cost.
Go ahead, Captain. You'll need to convince the guard to raise the portcullis before we can enter.
Captain Dulcin! Yes, Captain. It's just that I thought you were upstairs, sir. I didn't see you leave the fortress. And what are you doing with the Knight of Saradomin, sir? Ah, another captive Saladominist. Well done, sir. Shall I prepare a rack in the interrogation chamber for your prisoner? As you wish, Captain. I shan't keep you further.
Well played. Now let's find a way up to the next level.
Captain Dulcin, why is this prisoner not under guard? No, sir. No, I merely... Absolutely not, sir. That won't be necessary, sir. Please continue, Captain Dulcin.
There should be an open stairwell in the northwest interrogation chamber. Let's hope it's not guarded.
Captain Dulcin, sir. I'm sorry to bother you, Captain, but prisoners are not permitted on the upper levels. Your orders. Sir, your orders, sir. Please continue up the stairs, Captain Dulcin.
There should be another stairwell leading to the second floor in the southeast corner of this level. Because I've been here before. On my last mission, I got to the armory without any of the Kinshra noticing my presence. Though I did have to silence a few. I still think I should have changed out of this heavy armor before we entered, but I'm sure Saradomin has his reasons. I was born into the Sound family, a minor noble house in Falador. I am indeed. I became a squire to the White Knights as a child, and through hard work and service to the Order, gained my knighthood when I came of age. As a junior White Knight, I joined their campaigns against the Kinshra. I was part of the Dawn Ascent operation, and it was by my hand that the Black Knight Iban fell. What? How can this be? I saw him die. A foul business indeed. Well, you have my thanks. You have rid the world of a great evil. Iban was a powerful warrior who trained under Lord Dacarius himself. Our orders were to capture him alive. Iban refused to yield. The White Knights were superior in numbers, and Ceramic, our leader, was overconfident. Iban slaughtered many good knights that day, and Ceramic continued to press the advance. I could not tolerate such needless bloodshed. While my companions fell to Iban's blade, I withdrew from the battle. Ignoring my commanding officer, I slipped into the shadows and found a vantage point high above the melee. I readied my bow, took aim, and put an arrow through the back of Iban's skull. On the contrary, the White Knights nearly dismissed me from their service. I was accused of cowardice. The White Knights have a strict code of honor, too strict for my liking. They eschew subterfuge and guerrilla warfare. To deceive an enemy is considered an act of cowardice and dishonor. I will use whatever methods necessary and make any sacrifice to fulfill my mission and protect my allies. Fortunately, Satifi intervened and offered me a position with the Temple Knights. Certification is a retired adventurer who heads up recruitment for the Temple Knight organization. You can usually find him in Falador Park. I wanted to learn how to fight so I could protect Falador's people from those who threaten the peace. When I was young, my mother, Ultra, was captured by a Kinshra raiding party. I tried to stand against them, but I was no match for trained knights. It is how I earned this scar. Stereo, my father, heard of the attack, but by the time he returned from court, the Black Knights had long since fled. I wanted my father to be angry, to blame me for the loss of his wife, my mother. Instead, there was only grief and sorrow in his eyes, and Father has looked at me with disappointment ever since. Perhaps you're hoping I'll tell you of the time I witnessed a glorious miracle. Or that Saradomin came to me in a vision and assured me I had a great destiny to fulfill. It is none of these things. I believe in Saradomin's cause because he wishes the best for his people. Saradomin seeks to protect us from evil, and for Gielinor to be a safe haven where we can live in peace and prosperity. I fight to protect the innocent from those that would do us harm. Our freedom is worth fighting for. The Temple Knights are an elite order of White Knights founded by Saradomin himself in the Third Age. We are a covert division of the Order, dedicated to defeating threats to peace and sovereignty. Temple Knight operatives are called in for missions involving espionage, surveillance, sabotage, or infiltration. We also get all the best magical gadgets. The Kinshra are a Zamarakian military order of Black Knights. They have a long-standing enmity with the White Knights of Falador. The Kinshra were banished from Asgarnia a few years ago, but they maintain several well-defended bases on the outskirts of the kingdom. It is a well-defended Kinshra stronghold on the outskirts of Asgarnia. The Black Knights built the fortress upon Ice Mountain around the same time as the White Knights constructed Falador Castle. The fortress was originally the mansion of Lord Shadwell, who founded the Order of the Black Knights. He dedicated his home, finances, and the lives of his family to Zamorak, and fortified the mansion as a base of operations. Since then, the Kinshra have established other outposts across Gielinor. Lord Shadwell's reign ended in year 163 of the Fifth Age. He was succeeded by Lord Milton, and then shortly after by Lord Sula in year 164. Lord Decarius is the current leader of the Black Knights. He is a descendant of Lord Shadwell, his last surviving relative, so I've heard. That likely explains why Captain Dulcin has a relatively low military rank, yet maintains control of the Black Knight's fortress. I've heard that Lord Decarius does not think fondly of Dulcin, but tolerates him due to his family ties. What do you mean? Saradomin wants me to destroy evil and protect the innocent. Those are noble goals, and they are what drive me ever onwards. We live in a cruel and chaotic world. I trust in Saradomin to guide me on a righteous path. What do you mean? We have a job to do. I cannot afford to surrender to my emotions. I focus on completing our mission as expediently as possible. Saradomin is counting on us. I wish we could, but we need to focus on the mission at hand. If the Kinshra rise to power, we'll all be living as slaves.
Ah, Captain Dulcin. You have arrived at an opportune time. Are you ready to receive the mark of Zamorak? Splendid. Remove your helmet, and I shall administer the mark. Very well, Captain Dulcin. I will await your return. Strength through chaos. You may proceed up the southeast stairs, Captain Dulcin.
Excuse me, Captain. I cannot permit a Saradominist to access the upper levels of the fortress. For what purpose? I see. It's a long drop from up there, Saradominist. You'll talk if you know what's good for you.
We're almost at the tallest tower. I wonder what we'll find.
Captain Dawson. Captain Dawson, I have grave news. The magic circle has ceased to function, and I can find no trace of your witch. I fear our operation has been sabotaged, sir. We have lost contact with the artifact. Gladly, my lord. How can I be of assistance? The weapon, sir. The artifact that Lord Dacarius promised would give us the power to destroy Falador. The witch you hired, Captain Dawson, to summon a gateway to the weapon we seek. She claimed to be loyal to Zamorak. I am beginning to suspect she was an agent of the White Knights. Your witch took up residence in the attic tower. You were there when she cast the ritual, Captain. The ritual circle has been damaged. The gateway has vanished, and without the witch, we cannot reopen it. Yes, Captain. I shall detain the prisoner while you investigate your chamber's attic tower. Convenience isn't a factor, Captain. Enemy agents may have infiltrated the fortress in disguise. Oh.
Thanks for the distraction. You might want to see if he's carrying anything useful. The captain's quarters are just up ahead. We can't leave witnesses. I'll make sure he doesn't suffer. As you wish. I hope this doesn't come back to bite us in the future. Now, let's investigate that attic tower. Clearly, it depicts a confrontation between the Knights of Saradomin and Zamorak. Most likely the Siege of Falador. The chap on the right bears a striking resemblance to Ceramic Vase, the leader of the White Knights. It could be this Captain Dulcin everyone keeps talking about, but he was in hiding during the War of 164. Most likely it's Lord Sula, who rose to power after assassinating Lord Shadwell's successor, Lord Milton. Lord Sula led the War of 164 that culminated in the Siege of Falador. Captain Dulcin appears to be quite the dragon slayer. No wonder his men hold him in such high regard. He's clearly a capable warrior. I hope we don't run into this chap in person. Captain Dulcin appears to be quite... Captain Dulcin appears... Well spotted, milady. The journal's locked with a clasp. The keyhole is tiny. I expect the owner would keep the key upon his person. I suspect these helmets are trophies taken from White Knights that Dulcin defeated in battle. It was worth a try. The door is also barred with a latch. Besides, Saradomin said the magic weapon is in the tallest tower, not the treasury. Brutes. This is all too typical of the Kinshra. The bones are eerily clean and brightly polished. Most likely the flesh was dissolved with some kind of acid. Strange. The skull is missing. A ritual chamber. A dark aura pervades the room. Zamarakian sorcery has been performed here. Look, up there. A magic circle. Inactive, thanks Saradomin. Someone has tampered with it. I hope not. Circles such as this one are normally used to summon and bind otherworldly creatures. I find it unlikely that Saradomin would seek an artifact so strongly aligned with Zamorak. I'm hardly an expert, but one of the advantages of a privileged upbringing is a broad education. I have an academic understanding of magic. Temple Knights have access to a range of magical devices, so we usually receive training in other disciplines. I certainly know enough about ritual magic to proceed with great caution. There are things that dwell in dark places that are best left undisturbed. We expected to find Saradomin's weapon in this room, but it's not here. There seems to be only one path available to us. Complete the ritual. Indeed. Were this spell to summon forth a powerful demon, we could unleash a great evil upon Asgarnia. Yet I see no alternative. I wonder if Saradomin knew what we would find here. You have a poor opinion of the Lord of Light. We must trust that this ritual will summon forth the artifact we need. All the materials we require should be somewhere in this room. I know not what the spell shall conjure, but it is our duty to defeat it. If we do not, our enemies shall complete the ritual and use this power for ill. Be prepared. Let's proceed. Good thinking. It'll be much easier to refer to the book's contents if you take it with you. Now we'll need to recite the magic words over each candle. Refer to the grimoire. We can't afford any mistakes. Igarsok, Perdemi, Erbulam. Feritus. Silentai. Sepulchrum. Arom. Naria. Imperium. I don't think we said all of the magic words in the correct order. Arom. Naria. Imperium. Feritus, Silentai, Sepulchrum. Igarsak, Perdemi, Erbulam. You might as well put the items you found in the chest too. You'll need all the supplies you can carry. We've no idea what horrors await us. Yet we must step forward into the unknown and find the weapon before the Kinshra. May the light of Saradomin protect us.
Thank you. Thank you for rescuing me. I'm so grateful. What is your name, my lady? You fought with great skill.
I helped as well, you know. I could probably have taken them all on my own.
I'm Dawn. I'm a sister of St. Elspeth. A buried tomb in the frozen north. That's all I know.
There's snow at the surface entrance, so it can't be too deep underground.
St. Elspeth was a singer and musician who became a legend. She inspired Saradomin's troops with stirring songs during the God Wars. My home is the Abbey of St. Elspeth Cythereed, near Al-Kharid, which was founded in her memory. The Abbey was founded in St. Elspeth's memory, I mean, not Al-Kharid. We devote our time to music, prayer, and contemplation within the Abbey's walls. I was on a pilgrimage from the Abbey to Edgeville Monastery when our caravan was ambushed by Black Knights. They slaughtered the caravan guards and dragged us back to their fortress. Sister Lara died of infection in their horrible prison. Last week they brought Sister Esther, Father Magruder and I up to the captain's quarters and took us through a portal in the attic. They didn't tell us where we are. They just took our things and locked us up in these tiny cages. They've been starving us.
The other cages are empty. What happened to your companions?
I don't know. They've been dragging us through that door to the east, one by one. They said they'd be back for me if Father Magruder didn't survive. If you hadn't arrived when you did... I overheard them talking about some kind of weapon they've found in the tomb, sealed behind holy wards.
Do the Black Knights know how to breach these wards?
There was a Black Knight in a golden mask and rich red robes. He said that they require blood, pure blood, the blood of the virtuous.
Anything else?
He said that the blood must be freely given. I guess that's why they're starving us, to force us to help.
Thank you for indulging our questions, milady. We are left, though, with the problem of what to do with the poor woman.
I'm right here, you know.
A noble suggestion, but we can't afford to delay our mission. The Kinshra could be claiming the weapon as we speak.
I'll wait here. I'll be fine. And I can find some food among their supplies. Besides, someone needs to watch the portal in case any more Black Knights appear.
Good point. Call out if any arrive. We'll investigate the tomb. Let's go. We shan't shift that debris. We have no choice but to go deeper into the tomb. We've learned all we can from Dawn. Let us venture forth into this dark crypt. The architecture of this tomb resembles other dungeons I've seen in the frozen north, dating back to the God Wars. If I'm right, we've traveled a great distance, deep into the icy mountains north of Trollheim, west of the wilderness. That would explain why it's so cold down here. The God Wars were a series of conflicts that marked the Third Age of Gielinor. For 4,000 years, the gods battled for control of our world and sent forth their followers to die in their names. The battles laid waste to northern Gielinor, leaving only a blighted wilderness where great empires once stood. So many bodies. Hundreds of Saradomin's followers have been inhumed in this crypt. They died fighting in the God Wars, that we might know peace. The Kinshra have looted the coffins of these ancient warriors of Saradomin. Have they no respect for the dead? Have you no respect for the dead? Stand clear! The God Wars raged for 4,000 years. There are several such tombs buried beneath Gielinor, but they soon exceeded their capacity. As the death toll rose, they resorted to heaping mounds of bodies in these mortuaries. The Saradominist tombs became charnel pits. Perhaps you're right. The God War, there are several such as the Saradominist tomb. The God Wars raged for four. There are several such as the death toll rose, the Saradominist tomb. The Kinshra have looted the coffins of these ancient warriors of Saradomin. Have they no respect? The Kinshra have looted the coffin.
Come closer, interlopers, and face judgment. It is my sacred duty to protect Elora's wand. Leave this place, or be judged. In life, I was known as Fern. My mate Bree and I came here long ago from the Enchanted Valley. We fought for Saradomin in his great war. Thanks to me, the centaurs are nearly extinct. Now, I am the guardian of the Wand of Resurrection.
You mentioned Elora's wand. Who is Elora?
Elora the Life-Giver was my elder sister. She was loving, honest, and courageous. Elora embodied virtue. Since the day of her birth, she thought only of others. During her long life, Elora grew a horn in the center of her forehead, not unlike that of a unicorn. Among my people, the most virtuous are granted a horn with healing powers. This is a rare gift. My sister was very special.
How did you come to be here?
Saradomin came to the Enchanted Valley and recruited the centaurs to fight for him. We were enamored. Most of the centaurs left our home and followed Saradomin. Bree and I were his generals. We led the centaurs into battle. The war against the gods raged on for weeks, then months, then year after year. The centaur herds were decimated. We should have returned to the Enchanted Valley. Bree cautioned me to abandon Saradomin's cause before any more centaurs died in his name. I was determined to keep fighting, and because he loved me, Bree acquiesced. I was stubborn. I was foolish.
Then what happened?
I convinced Elora to come with me to Gielinor and aid us in the God Wars. I urged her to use her power to resurrect our people. I assured her that if she did not, the centaurs would be extinct. I was determined that if only we continued to fight, we would soon turn the tide of the war. I brought the dead and the dying to Elora. With great sadness in her eyes, she brought them back to life. I sent my people back to the battlefield to die again in vain.
And Elora continued to aid you?
Each time I returned to Elora, she appeared more fatigued. Her breathing was labored, her movements stiff. I tried not to notice. I asked for her aid, and not once did she refuse me. Elora died exhausted, withered, and worn. She poured out the last of her life to save others. I wanted to mourn her. I was overwhelmed with guilt. But I thought only of the war.
What became of the centaurs who fought for Saradomin?
My people looked to me, begging me to revive their loved ones. In desperation, I cut the horn from my dead sister's forehead. I used it to raise my people. I was not virtuous like my sister. I did not deserve to wield that great power. The centaurs I raised were soulless, undead, corrupt, and wicked. They thirsted for destruction. The corrupted set upon the living herds. The undead centaurs turned against their families and cut them down. I could not control them. The centaur armies were destroyed by my folly. The corrupted saved me for last. I died at the hands of my creations, and I welcomed death. So deep was my sorrow and regret, my immortal spirit was tethered to my sister's horn. I cannot leave this world, until the wand of resurrection finds a worthy successor. It has been a long and lonely vigil. I am no mere ghost. My spirit is bound to the wand. I am its guardian. It is my duty to judge those who seek to claim it. To this end, I must confront those who enter and destroy the unworthy. The wand of resurrection is the horn of my sister, Elora the Life-Giver.
What power does the wand possess?
It grants life to the dead, and can protect its wielder from harm. Only the virtuous can safely wield its true power. Anything less corrupts and changes the magic of the wand. I must ensure you have the strength, intellect, and purity of heart to bear my burden. I sense that it's true. Guthix has given you the power to stand against the gods. Such power is dangerous if not wielded with virtuous intent. I must test you. Before you can reach the wand, I must test you in battle. You must kill me. You will merely destroy a manifestation of my immortal spirit. I will feel no pain. When a new champion arrives, I will materialize again to test their might. Such is my burden. Few have defeated me before. All of them failed the trial of virtue. I fear that none are virtuous enough to return my centaurs to life.
It grieves me to have battled one who gave her life for Saradomin's cause. But we must complete our mission. The way is open. Let's find this wand before it falls into Zamorak's hands. That certainly looks like the wand Fern mentioned. Now, how do we get to it? We should carefully explore this area. His outstretched hand has been reduced to a twisted, bloodless stump. The poor man's spine has been snapped. Her palms have been cut, yet there's no sign of any blood. It's like her wounds were cauterized. A centaur. The wing of an icy. A white knight. The owl of wisdom. A matching pair. Courageous lion. You'll get it this time. I'm glad that's over. Well done. Only one seal remains. The sister of St. Elspeth said that this ward requires the blood of one who is virtuous. Very well. I shall make the sacrifice. Your valiance is matched only by your piety. Are you sure you wish to breach the ward with your own blood? If you are not pure of heart, the ward will utterly destroy you. May the light of Saradomin shine upon you, my friend. Dawn!
Thank you, my knight in shining armor.
Hurry, my lady! We must not let her escape with the wand!
Thank you for retrieving the wand. With it, I shall raise an unstoppable army of the dead.
When Fern took Alora's horn and used it, the risen dead were corrupted. The undead centaurs turned on Fern and killed her.
I have done my research, you know. The Guardian of the Wand fell short of her sister's virtue, but despite her flaws, there was still a spark of goodness in Fern. It is why she still clings to this world, a tortured spirit racked with guilt. The undead she raised hungered to destroy that purity and tore her to pieces. I have no such impediment. My heart is as black and foul as my creations. The corrupted shall know me as one of their own and obey my will. I shall use Elora's wand to destroy you. The brave knight and his faithful squire. The great heroine and her faithful sidekick, then. Regardless, your noble quest is at its end. You have rescued the fair damsel, slain the terrible beast, and proven your valor to your god. Now, you die. Did it hurt to murder your comrade? Or did you destroy him without hesitation? Is he nothing more than an evil, dead thing to you now? Let's see how well you fare without your brave knight to aid you. My warriors! You cannot hide forever. I shall destroy you myself. Get away from me! Come out and play! Die! Be gone! Are you afraid of me? You shall live again! Pierce their noble heart! Get back! Face me if you want something done right. Go away! Suffer! Rise from your grave! You cannot defeat my magic! Get away from me! Witness my full power! Curse you! You cannot hide forever! Begone!
Well done. You have the wand. If we hurry, we can restore Sir Owen to life. Sir Owen's spirit is fading. We have little time. Please, give me the wand, and I will restore him to life. You are wise to be cautious of me. I have done many questionable things. I do what is necessary to protect my people, that they might live a life of virtue. It is possible that the wand will not judge me worthy. Yet I must take the risk, for Sir Owen's sake. The wand draws its power from its wielder. The witch's wicked heart and allegiance to Zamorak meant she could only animate corpses. In the hands of one devoted to good, the wand can be used to return lost heroes to life. Innocents, those who did not deserve to die. Have faith in me, and Sir Owen shall live again. Sir Owen has the potential to do great deeds in my name. He has dedicated his life to me. Sir Owen has much work left to do. I cannot squander this gift. You dare defy a god? I shall not be denied. The wand now. What have I done? I shouldn't have used the wand in anger. I have contaminated Sir Owen's mind and body. You are probably right. I was too eager to bring Sir Owen back. I needed him too much to let death take him. Now all is lost. Though he lives and breathes, the darkness has claimed him. It is true, thanks to the protection of Guthix. I cannot teleport you against your will, and much of my power seems ineffective against you. As you have seen, though, you are not completely beyond our reach. He is corrupted like the centaurs before him. A creature consumed with the desire to destroy purity.
There is hope, my lord. My arm is cold and skeletal, yet I can still control it. I can sense the virtue in you, my friend. The purity of heart that allowed you to claim the wand. It is like a white-hot fire searing my senses. I yearn to snuff out that light, but I can resist this temptation. I will not allow the corruption to consume me.
No, Sir Owen, you have suffered enough. You may feel you are in control of yourself, but the corruption will consume you in time. I must relieve you from your service to me. You cannot remain a Temple Knight. I cannot endanger my people by bringing you into their midst. You proved yourself worthy to wield the wand of resurrection, World Guardian. I had hoped that I could persuade you to restore the Centaur race. The Centaurs died fighting for me in the God Wars. I am responsible for their near extinction. I will not deceive you. I have need of allies in the troubled times ahead. Since the Elder Gods brought this world into being, it has been beset on all sides by selfish forces hungering to tear it asunder. War is here. The edicts of Guthix have fallen. If we do not fight back against the tide of darkness, my people will be destroyed. I seek only to protect this world from outsiders, that you might eventually know peace.
Saradomin speaks the truth. You merely destroyed a manifestation of my immortal spirit. I will not know the peace of annihilation until I have atoned for the loss of my people. Because if we do not defeat the other gods, their conflict will spill out into the Enchanted Valley, to other worlds, other planes. Only Saradomin seeks to maintain order. We have to fight to preserve our way of life.
My lord, I have sought to purge evil from this world. I have stood by my principles and followed the code you taught me. Let me prove that I can overcome the darkness within me. I shall travel to the Centaur burial ground and use the wand to restore the Centaur race.
Do not forget, it was the World Guardian who passed the trial of blood. She should lead the expedition.
Very well. Sir Owen, take time to gather supplies for all of you. We shall cautiously prepare for the journey ahead. If Sir Owen is still sound of mind when next we meet, I shall relinquish the wand.
As you wish, my lord. Oh, and, milady, about my shield. Keep it, with my blessing.
Now, World Guardian, let's discuss your reward. You fought bravely, and saved Sir Owen from a fate worse than death. With your permission, I can return you to Edgeville Monastery. As you wish.